Hello, this is Pan and welcome to Studio Series 86 Voyager class Thundercracker. So here we have Thundercracker in his robot mode. I've had him for about 3 days now, and he's probably, at least in my opinion, the best of the Seekers that I've handled. I've handled all 3 of the mainland Seeker types. I don't have the Earthrise mold anymore because I can't lie, I hated it. But I will be comparing it to my Siege Starscream mold when I, get to that point. But I can definitely say this is my current favourite of the Seeker molds. Mostly because I like the Earth modes, and also this doesn't feel as restricted as the Earthrise mode did. There's my proof that I had the Earthrise mold. It's that bit's broke, so I couldn't give it away. But yeah, so Thundercracker. Here in robot mode, you can see he's not got much in the way of detailing. The current way they've been doing 86 has been, of course, cartoon accuracy above all else, really. So he's not got much in the way of details. I can confirm pretty much all the new ones are like that. Optimus, Megatron, and Soundwave especially, since those are the ones that I have. But I personally think it is worth it simply because of the more intuitive mold, not intuitive, more functional for what I want design. Here we have the noggin here. Come on, camera. Your phone camera, you know how to focus. Yay! There we are. Here we have his little noggin. It's quite small. Very small. At times it can be a bit hard to move, but it's there. The face is a bit odd, though. I do believe, I might be wrong on this, but I do believe that face might be able to pop off. I remember I saw a post about it being able to. Outside of that one time, I've never actually tested that because I don't exactly have another face to swap it to. Chest detail. I will say the chest looks a lot better than the Earthrise mold. It still has that gap there, but in my opinion it fills out a lot better. Though I will say these bits can look a bit cheap. I personally think it's fine, but could be an issue for some. Accurate wings, upside down Decepticon symbol, red stripe, almost there. Back. This was the primary reason why I wanted it. It looks a lot better. These are removable pieces. You can leave them on the feet if you would rather not parts form. I personally do not care. So, down the wings. But the back looks very good. It's a very nice back. Not much in the way of anything bad. Doesn't stick out all too far. Hey now. Oh, yeah, doesn't stick out all too far. Looks pretty good. The legs, not much in the way of anything off about them. Arms look good. My camera's gone. I've dropped them. Feet. This was another reason why I wanted them. I did not like the Earthrise feet. I like these feet. Right. Now, posability. Let's see how what's the furthest I can get this tripod to go. That should be alright. Yeah. Here's a note that everyone who wants to start like to start doing anything what should know. Try to start with a proper tripod and not one for the stick bots, especially if you don't have a big desk. Right. Posability. So he has. Come on. That'd be a bit easier. There we go. So, head. He has a ball joint head. Mine's quite tight on my copy. And he has a hinge joint at the neck. From my experience transforming, it seems to be full transformation, but gives them a decent amount of upward looking and improves his downward looking capabilities. His neck can do a full 360 and it is light piped, so if I just very nice. Right. Shoulders. Right, this is the bit that a lot of people are gonna be a bit critical of. So his shoulders could theoretically do a 360, however, from my experience with messing with it, the wings do not have any articulation beyond transformation. You can't fold them out of the way or anything like every other mainline Seeker in recent memory. So his arms can go a maximum of that far and not very far that way. I've never really encountered this being an issue since a lot of the poses that I put him in have him facing head on. However, that might end up being an issue for some. Here we have, of course, this is a pegged on piece. This is clear plastic and it does fit in a little loose on my copy, but it's not as loose as Siege. So it's not as loose as the Siege Starscream ones were on his shoulders where they won't fall out, though that might also just be because my copy was like that. Bicep swivel, pretty good. Elbow bend goes, I think that is 90 degrees or a little under. Pretty good. Wrists, they are on a ball joint, though there's not much room for a wiggle. But you can just about see the ball joint there. You'll see it better during transformation. Yeah. Waist swivel. Another reason why I like this guy a lot better than Thrice, which I'm going to be tearing into throughout this entire video despite not having it anymore. Yeah, it has a limited waist swivel, but it is enough that you would need. It's kind of like, so if I grab from way over here, what I'm going to call default Voyager Inferno, Kingdom Inferno. Kingdom Inferno. Yeah, you can turn the hips that way. When are you going to turn the hips that way? What pose are you putting Inferno in? Where he has to be able to sit down the wrong way. So, I personally don't mind a more limited waist swivel, so long as it looks natural and is usable in some way, which I believe this is. Crotch plate, it's all one piece. Can swing out a little bit. For the most part, you don't really need it, but you know, it does help to be able to get out of the way. As you just saw, good amount of hip bend forwards. Can do the can. I think that's what that is. Tim's going backwards. It's a lot more restricted due to this butt flap. It connects to the bottom as such, you know, can't move it out of the way. So his backward movement is severely limited, but is also not bad in the slightest. Hip movement on outwards. I also got the shoulders can do that. You can tell it's my first one. Hip movement, they can go out all the way, you can do full splits basically. And he does have little hip skirts. These move out the way during transformation, but they can be useful to know about. Thigh rotation, very good one. It's a double mushroom peg, I think that's called. At least that's what I'm going to call it. 90-degree bend at the knees. The knee does have a transformation joint in it, meaning that you can, similar to figures like the 86 Jazz, bring his knee higher than it otherwise would be able to go. If you want to do that, I personally won't. Then we've got on the feet, ankle pivot, as is currently the standard, hopefully it doesn't change, and technically a toe bend, though this is really loose because it's meant to be a transformation joint. So overall, robot mode, pretty decent if you ask me. Yeah, pretty decent if you ask me. As for size comparisons, I'm going to really show how little space I have, because I've put them all on the opposite end of my room, because I am truly the smartest person on the planet. Right. Start off with the, let's put this down so I can better move stuff. Oh man, come on, you don't want to fall over. So starting off, the default is what I'm going to consider him. Kingdom Inferno, pretty good scale there. They're about the same height, makes sense. That is a Voyager. Pretty good. I don't know why I turned it. Oh, that's a difficult one. Oop, that's across the room. Right. So I should never hold your stuff. Plunk this down again. Come on, use tripod. Come on. But yeah. Right. Siege Seeker molds. Again, they're about the same height. Not really much of a surprise. And then for some 86 comparisons. Oh my, get your finger away. We got the leader, Megatron. He's a lot taller than him, which isn't much of a surprise, but you know, really shows how easy it's going to be to get, you know, when the Starscream mold comes out, how easy it's going to be to throw him at a wall. And then we have the Optimus mold. Again, pretty good scale, pretty good. Honestly, I argue it's a better scale than the Megatron one, to be honest. I didn't realise how tall Megatron was. I don't usually stand them in scale, usually like action poses of some kind. Right! So that is, as a whole, 86 Thundercracker in his robot mode. So now we're on to transformation. Yeah, that thing Transformers do. So the first one I do, I'm going to remove the null rays. That one's a little tighter. Put them off to the side. And then for me, I have put these tail fins on the back. They're just a 5mm peg. You can put them on the legs. This is where they'll end up. And you can transform it with them. I prefer not to, because I cannot be bothered. So I should remove them. Also, these parts come detached out of the box. I don't know if you can remove them, but you know, yeah. So these little end bits, you can see how they plug on. Out the box, these come unattached, you just stick them on. Right, so I will not be reading the instructions because I very rarely do. First thing you want to do is get these little toesy woesies, flick them up like so, shoot around to the back, click open, and you just want to collapse these pieces down. And if I bend this out, let's see. So this top one is where that slot, not sure if you can see it, that one will go into one of those open gaps. Top one in robot mode, bottom one in alt mode. You just want to come on, let me show. And hey, I have no idea how well that came out, so I'll film it again. Pull down that notch into the bottom slot, so just push it down and it's a little bit difficult, but it will pop in. There we go. And you just want to close up these back segments. These little sticky out bits will go into that big slot there, like so. All right. Next, we want to do is just remove the reminder on my phone. I don't know where I put my water, so oh, there it is. There we go. Right, you just want to click that open. In a lot of ways, it's like the siege mold, except these bits can also flip forwards. What you want to do is just pull out the nose cone and just tab it in to the front. And how do you do this again? I hate this bit. There we go. You just gotta pull it up so that that slides out. Let's show it. Just do it again. So you want to just push it up so it slides out, and then you can rotate it back. Make sure you push the head right the way back on the hinge joint so it can go slip between this gap here. Next thing I'm going to do is flip the wings down. This functions pretty much like the original SRS mold. I almost forgot. Before you flip the wings down, butt flap, fold it down. And plug the leg. There's a few steps that I've forgotten about, don't worry about it. Plug the legs together, butt flap connects into these, and then flip these little wingies down, plug it in. Wings are quite thick, so it shouldn't be any issue, but you also, don't want to break anything. Right. Make sure all this is still extended. I'd say I'm actually going to wait to do that so I can have all this as out the way as possible, so just wait for that bit. Right. You want to flip open the hands. Here we have the little ball joint that I mentioned before. I told you we get to see it. Flip it in, close it up, straighten out, fold that in. Don't forget, I always forget this, do not forget to flip up the hip skirts. Make sure that there is enough space for everything to go under. So on this side, put it all in. There we go. Then we want to bring down these bits. There are these tabs here, which will go into the 5mm peg, and there is a slot right here that'll go where the arm goes. Like so. Now we finally get to tuck the head in. Exactly what you've been waiting for. And you just want to That's not a lot of space. There we go. You just want to tap that in there, like so. From there, you want to, in my opinion, flip out the landing gear so you can just plonk it down so you can get ready to add these bits. So don't drop it. Hinge out the side wing, go to the appropriate side. There is a tab right here that will go into the slot that fits the 5mm peg. You should know how a plane's wings go on, but you know. You never know. Some people may not have had that phase when they were a child of loving planes. They just tab that right in like that. And then one of the 5mm pegs, you get to choose where you put the null rays. You can put them on the tight ones, though they'll be at a weird angle, so I'd say just be a basic. Can't say that word. That's another very nice word. A basic cuss. And fantastic Mr. Fox now. Right, peg them in. It's 5mm pegs. They actually fit in better than the arms, funnily enough, which, you know, that's neat. And there you have Thundercracker. Unable to be seen. He's a jet now. So here we have the, what's it called? The jet mode for Thundercracker. Overall, pretty nice looking jet mode. As I said before, not much in the way of detail, though a lot more detail has shown itself on this mode since it's not covered by the more simplistic robot parts. It's a pretty good Earth jet mode. I'm definitely a fan of these. I don't believe they're 5mm peg compatible, though that does seem to be. You know what? Who's got something that I can use to test this theory? Lovely. This is not what you would usually put, but let's have a look. See? Do you fit? No. Is that just a fluke or is it straight? No, I don't believe it fits. Doesn't seem to, anyway. Which, whilst unfortunate, I've got both the Skyquake and Dreadwing molds, which have this exact flaw, so it doesn't bother me. What does make me happy is that that actually looks like it's meant to be a jet thruster, and also if I got a bit of blue tack, I could put, you know, something in there, so that works for me. He does just about come off the floor with the wheel and the back feet, though there is no rolling on this figure. As you saw in the transformation, this can go up and come out. This bit's quite nice, if I can get me thumb under it. Opening cockpit. Very nice, in my opinion, at least. Yeah. Underside, if that matters to you, doesn't to me. I think it's actually pretty clean even beyond that. There's like a nice little space for you to, like, I don't know what you'd store in there. Put your pens or something in there. Right, size comparison, because that's the important bit. Default boy. So there's Kingdom Inferno. Pretty decent size compared to that. 86 Prime. This is a different order than I did last time, but this makes more sense to me. 86 Megatron. Pretty good size. And finally, the Siege Tetrajet. Honestly, looks pretty good together, though I can say I'm going to be looking forward to getting the Starscream mold. Sorry again for not having the Earthrise mold, but I'm not going to lie. From visuals, I'm pretty sure they look exactly the same. Except for these little fellas and a lack of anything here. Like beyond that, it's just the underkibble that's different. They are pretty much the same. I can't lie. They look pretty much the same. But overall, yeah, that's about it for 86 Thundercracker. So thank you for watching. If you liked it, yeah, thank you. If you didn't like it, that's okay. Yeah, there's other channels. Thank you to Mgo, Jobby the Hong, that toy guy. I believe the other one's named Mr. Lou. But I've got to check now because I'm trying to say thank you for giving me the idea to do this. Is it that? No, that's not you. Well, thanks Toys R Us as well. Yeah, the channel, not the place. Come on. I hate names. I can never remember names. I watched one of your videos like a few seconds ago. Hold on. Mr. Lubat. Yeah, I was right. Mr. Lubat. Yeah. Thank you all for, you know, making me want to start off the idea of doing a channel with one of these things. And not this guy in particular, but just this like doing a Transformers review. Yeah. Hope everyone watching has a nice day. Hope, yeah. Whatever you're going through, I hope this at least made you a little bit happier. Probably didn't, it's just a Transformers review, but you know. Hope it did. Alright, thank you all for watching the Spin Pan.